Hello everyone, this is Jinju at kimchimari.com. Today we'll be making some Osam Bulgogi, or in English, spicy squid and pork belly stir fry. Doesn't it look just amazing? So here I'm showing you first how to clean a whole squid. Usually it comes frozen at the Korean grocery market or any place you can get. You can use calamari too, but this squid, I think, the Korean squid works perfectly. So first you want to cut the body, cut it open and take out all the innards, the stomach. And then we are going to discard all of that. And the simplest way is just to either just cut the whole sort of the head part. That's actually the beak. And you just can cut away the whole part that's below the eyes and discard the upper part there. So now you're left with just the tentacles. And then we're going to rinse it under some running water. And you can just cut the squid without removing the skin, but it can get a little chewy, and so we usually like to remove it. And the easiest way to do that is sprinkle some salt, and that will help you get a good grasp of the skin. Otherwise it's pretty slippery, but with the salt you can get a good hold of the skin, and then you just want to peel away piece by piece. Okay, so another way, by the way, without using salt, you can also use a paper towel and use the paper towel to grab the skin. So you also want to remove the skin of sort of that, the head part. And then we're going to cut the squid. You can cut it however you like, kind of, but I like to cut them more evenly. So I'm going to first cut the body, cut the head out, and then head away, and cut the body into 3 equal width pieces, and then cut it again into a thinner kind of strip pieces. So this way you can easily eat it in one bite. And I'm cutting the head here. And then you can cut the tentacles. So you can just include everything, but I like to cut away the very last, the very thin ends of the tentacle, because they don't really add much, and they actually kind of make the dish look a little messy. So anyway, so I'm cutting these into pretty similar sizes. So, okay, then now we're going to make the sauce. So 3 tablespoons of gochujang, 3 tablespoons of Korean red chili powder, and a tablespoon of green plum syrup. And if you don't have plum syrup, I will write it below in the description how to substitute that. And then I added some sugar, now some maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, tablespoon of mirin or cooking sake, and a teaspoon and a half of sesame oil. And then we're going to mix it all up. It takes a bit of mixing because the gochujang is pretty dry. Actually, that's my homemade gochujang, so it looked pretty dark, I know. And then a teaspoon of chopped fresh garlic, a 1/4 teaspoon of grated ginger, and I just kind of eyeballed it here. You can also use ginger powder if you don't have fresh ginger, and that should be fine. Okay, and see how nice and thick the sauce comes out. It is just really yummy. And some black pepper to finish up. And here we're using this to cook both the pork and the squid. You can substitute chicken if you want. But I do just love the texture contrast of the chewy squid, and also the rich flavor pork belly adds. Okay, so I just kind of mixed in all the sauce. So I'm using half of the sauce to 1 squid. And then we're going to use the other remaining half to marinate pork belly. This is about half a pound of pork belly. And I got these nice cuts from the Korean market. And so we're going to add the other half. And if you want to make it ahead, you can certainly marinate the pork belly and the squid too. You can marinate them even overnight, prep ahead in the fridge, and then just take it out when you're ready to cook. So we're going to massage the pork belly pieces with the sauce so that it gets nicely absorbed. And normally it's good to at least maybe marinate it for 15 minutes or so that the flavors are all nicely in the meat. Okay, and then I have carrots, cabbage, green onions, onion. We just slice them up. Doesn't have to be an exact amount. If you want a lot more vegetables, you can do that. So then I just mix that with the squid. Okay, here I'm cooking the pork belly first because this way you can render some of the fat out, and you want to make sure the pork is fully cooked. So it's best to cook it to start. And then here you'll see that I cook the whole pieces first, and then I cut it with scissors. But it's a little bit hard because you'll have to have your hands on top of the pan. So if you want to make it easier on yourself, you can cut the pork belly into smaller pieces before you marinate. That way you can just do it as a stir fry to start. But I just kind of like doing it this way because this way it's all perfectly evenly cooked before it's all cut up, and you don't have to keep stirring. So it's pretty much up to you. And then this way also, you don't need extra oil so that's good. You can also wipe out the oil if you want to remove some of the fat. Okay, so now the pork belly is all cut into pieces and all cooked. And then we're adding the squid and vegetable mix. And notice I didn't add the whole bowl. You should adjust the amount you cook always, depending on how big your pan is. So don't overcrowd your pan any more than what I have here. Because if you have too much food to cook in the pan, what happens is the temperature goes low, and then it doesn't cook the food fast enough. So a lot of the juice will come out, and you will end up with a very sort of saucy, juicy dish, which is okay. If you like that, that's fine. But this dish, because it's bulgogi, it shouldn't have too much liquid. It should be more on the dry side like this. That's how I think is the most delicious. So here's a close-up, and see, now it's all done. And the squid, when it's done, it should be nice and kind of bouncy and hard, not soft, but not so hard that it's chewy. So there we go. There's a close-up of a piece of a pork belly. And then, after you've enjoyed a dish of the Osam Bulgogi, this is how Koreans love to finish the meal. So to the leftover pan with some of the Osam Bulgogi, you can add some rice, any leftover rice. If you are going to use from the fridge, you can just break it up with your hands. You can maybe heat it up a little bit. So anyway, to the leftover sauce and some of the bulgogi pieces, you're going to add the add the rice, add some sesame oil, and mix it all up to make sort of the cleanup fried rice. And then the best thing is to leave it for a few minutes so the bottom starts to get burnt. And I love adding some fresh Minari is what I'm adding here. If you have Perilla Kkaennip, then you can do that. But for this dish, Minari, the water drop wort, adds the best kind of the fresh flavor that this fried rice needs. And if you like it spicy, add some sliced chili peppers, jalapeno peppers, whatever you want to add, whatever kind of peppers you want to add, I meant. And here's a slow-mo of that wonderful burnt rice, my most favorite part of fried rice of this kind. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. This is a great one sort of dish meal that you can cook at the table with your family, friends, or even if it's just for yourself. Anyway, enjoy! Bye!